Hi, my name is Sherry Pittman, and I'd like to welcome you today to a very special segment with Dr. Rhoda Alale. And Dr. Rhoda Alale has some wonderful information to share with us, particularly regarding the science field. And I cannot explain it as well as she can, so just stay with us and join us. Dr. Alale, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Miss Pittman. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I want to just start out a little bit to lay a little foundation. Tell us about some of your educational background, who you are, so that we can move forward from there.
Well, I'm a registered nurse by profession. I'm also a board certified environmental health physicist.
Okay.
And I've been a nurse educator most of my 34 years of nursing. In fact, a professor of nursing at Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Wonderful, yes.
And I'm on the show today because I met your wonderful husband down in St. Louis, and he's like, we got to help you tell the story about environmental issues. You know, my national campaign now is to bring people to the awareness that you must start checking the chemicals in your house, the chemicals that's in your water, the electrical radiation in your home coming from your electrical currents, and all the electronics you are dealing with.
You know, I read something about the electronic or the magnetic fields that are set up. Seemed like it was kind of off the beaten path, and like I said, I'm not really a science person, but I read it and it made sense to me, but it's not something that I hear very much about.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're in Europe, it's everywhere. Matter of fact, if you get pregnant in Europe, they're going to send an engineer out to your house to check for electrical radiation, what they call a magnetic flux, the same thing you're talking about, to make sure it's not high enough to cause an injury to the unborn child. Yes.
I see.
They're doing that all over Asia, all over Europe, in Russia, etc.
You know what? Recently, I was hearing something about where in some of those same places, that when a child is born, that they're no longer asking if the child is male or female. They want to know if the child is normal.
Yes.
And I guess that has something to do with this.
Exactly.
Because they're being born deformed and different things.
Yes, they're being born, a lot of children are being born transgender because of the chemical convergence with this electrical radiation. People don't realize if you have, when I say electrical radiation, I want to clarify that. Electricity is made of a radiation called non-ionizing radiation.
Non-ionized.
Non-ionizing radiation.
Okay.
We have known since the late 1800s that non-ionizing radiation can cause cancer and injury to nerves and muscle tissue and brain. Okay. When we didn't even have the first incident of Parkinson's disease until 1887, when electrical devices went into the workplace.
I see.
When electricity came in the house, nobody slept with their bed pushed to the wall.
Okay.
Everybody slept with their bed 6 feet away from the wall, and in many nations in the world, they still do that.
There's a good reason for that.
There's a good reason for that, because electricity is highly magnetic, and it's the opposite of magnetism to the body. In other words, if we focus on the little red blood cell in your body,
yes,
and what electricity does when it hits your body to that little cell,
yes,
your little red blood cell is designed to move forward like you drive your car.
So it's attracted to it.
It's attracted to it. And when that little red blood cell is in a perpetual motion moving forward, it can properly hold oxygen and minerals and nutrients to deliver to tissue.
Okay.
What happens when you're talking on a cell phone or you're leaning on a wall is that electricity hits that red blood cell, and the older that red blood cell is, it will flip it backwards, and it loses its oxygen and it loses its minerals.
Okay, so that moving forward is not attracted to the electricity or to that cell phone. Its main purpose in an environment without the electricity is to assist the body and to do its best. Is that
exactly?
Okay.
And that's the reason why the Amish never wanted electricity inside of their homes, because it's scientific fact that electricity will deoxygenate your body.
Now, I have to ask you, do you know if there is any scientific evidence or any studies done regarding the Amish, since they don't have this, the electricity, or that they're in better health than we are?
Absolutely.
There
I mean,
is.
they don't have the statistics of mental illness. They don't have the statistics of cancer. They don't have the incident of autism. They don't have the incident of neuromuscular disorders.
Wow.
Now, for the first time, they are developing incidents of sustained and chronic fatigue, because what nobody calculated was the more you put up a cell phone antenna and a cell phone tower and a power transformer, that communicates for miles and miles and miles. So some Amish communities are sandwiched between a cell phone tower 3 miles to the north and a power transformer 2 miles to the south.
And there
And
is
that
the
frequency,
field.
and they don't have anything to shield themselves with.
Wow.
Yes, and so I get calls from Amish communities all the time asking me what technologies they can use to shield and harmonize their environments and protect them.
Okay, I'm showing my ignorance, but this is just part of who I am. How does the Amish community find out that you exist?
Because, Sherry, I've been on a number of radio programs and television programs, and I've been blessed that my cousin is the founding editor of USA Today.
Okay.
So on the East Coast, she's had me on so many television and radio programs, and also I'm involved with a lot of nuclear engineers from the military.
Okay.
And I actually got to the Amish community
Okay.
from a nuclear engineer from the Navy.
Okay.
And so when he introduced me to a device that I could use to help anchor the walls with people that had electricity.
Okay. And you have that with you today?
I have that with me today. I brought one to show you.
Okay.
He got me on a radio show, and someone told the Amish gentleman to
Word
listen
of
into
mouth.
this show.
Okay.
And he got on that show and said,
Okay.
what can I do?
Because I sure was finna say the Amish don't have electricity. How they have a radio?
Yes.
I was gonna go there, but I'm glad you explained that.
Yes.
Show us the item that what did you call it?
It's called a capacitor.
Capacitor.
This is an alpha capacitor this was the beginning of my introduction and my quest. My testimony is simply I was living in Washington, D.C., being a professor of education at Howard. My husband died, sent me back to my father's village, so to speak,
Okay.
which was Wilmington, Ohio. I brought a house in a prestigious neighborhood,
Yes.
a wonderful house.
Yes.
Didn't know anything about environmental toxins, did not know a house can be so toxic it can
Okay.
take your life.
Mm-hmm.
The house gave my son a brain injury, put him in the hospital for almost a year,
Okay.
gave me a stroke, and burnt my breast black,
Oh.
and had every organ in my body turning off.
Okay.
To make a long story short,
Yes.
I was fascinated with the brain scan they were using for my son,
Okay.
and I went to learn how to do it. Met a doctor from Russia who walked up to me and said, "You have ants in your house?" I said, "You mean insect creatures?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "I have a terrible ant problem. Why do you ask?" She said, "Ants only infest houses that are too toxic for humans to live in. You have a high radiation level, get an engineer." And so I went looking for an engineer, found a nuclear engineer from the Navy, sent a team to measure my house. They said, "Lady, we don't know how to tell you that you're living in almost 7,000 times the amount of non-ionizing radiation levels that you should have."
And
Picked
that's what caused the ill effects, the disease
Exactly.
with your son and yourself.
Exactly. The high magnetic flux in our house coming from the dirt. The grounding wires that was in the dirt that our house was built in was carrying a positive charge, and that was spiking our walls. Okay. And
the dirt, there was a reason why the dirt had the charge.
Exactly. It was picking up the charge from the radio station towers that were 2 blocks away from me, various cell phone antennas that were on the buildings in the industrial park that was within a half a mile, or actually within a quarter of a mile of my house.
Okay.
And so all of this had hit the grounding wires, and it was spiking. Your electrical system is engineered never to be higher than 60 biometric units of radiation or 60 hertz. Mine was over 1,500.
I've seen that
Some
in one
people,
spot.
yes, some people are having magnetic flux so high in their house that is as high as voltage delivered to electrocute people.
But because it's going throughout the house,
House
they don't feel
is
the
dissipate,
intensity
yes.
of it, but they can still have negative results.
Exactly.
Of it.
You don't feel that. You don't feel that intensity because it's not directly plugging into you. You're just getting the vibration of the current of the heat of it, so to speak,
Right.
coming out, and it's so the span of it is so vast. It used to be that it only came between 12 and 18 inches from the wall. Now it can go wall to wall. It's spiking the lines and creating transients or magnetic electrical inductance that can go wall to wall.
So how can a person find out if their house is charged like that?
That is an excellent question. Number one, you can get a meter. This meter is called Stetzer, the Stetzer meter. You can buy it anywhere
Stetzer
online.
meter? Okay. How do you spell it, just to make sure?
Stetzer. S as in Sam, T as in Tom, E as in Edward, T as in Tom, Z as in Zebra, E as in Edward, R as in Rhoda.
Stetzer. Rhoda.
Stetzer.
Okay.
Mhm,
Okay.
a
And you can
Stetzer
buy
meter.
this at like a Walgreens or something?
No.
No.
You have to go online. This is a specialty instrument. It was developed by Mr. David Stetzer.
Consequently, the name.
Consequently. And who is an engineer for the Army.
Okay.
He developed this so that they could measure magnetic flux
Yes.
and kilowatts in war zones and military
Yes.
installations,
Yes.
etc.
What does it cost?
This costs under $140.
Something like that. Okay.
Exactly.
But they can go online and there's a website and
Exactly.
everything. They can go to.
Amazon.com is probably, you can get it cheaper, I think, at Amazon.
Yeah.
Or
If they
even
Google
on
that
eBay.
name, they'll
Yeah,
eventually
eBay,
find
yeah,
it
they'll
too.
find it.
Okay.
But nevertheless, until this meter was born, this meter has probably been so critical in the influence of how medicine is changing. Because until this meter was born, medicine, doctors and nurses really didn't have any idea of the electricity as an assault weapon until the taser gun was born. Now people are being tased with anywhere from 20 to 200 milligauss of radiation. And that causes your nerves and muscles to not talk, so people just drop to the ground when they're being tased.
Wow.
And so now police officers, people don't realize if the police officer tased you, he's being tased in that whole process.
I didn't realize that.
Yes. And that's why so many police officers talk about being so weak after they've had to deploy that taser gun. That's why they have to take them all the way down, because they are weak themselves, and so that they can cuff them and subdue them, yes.
So they can't wear anything that protects themselves from being tased?
Absolutely. There's technology out there that they can put on, but few of police officers even, or few police departments even engage that technology for the police department.
Wow.
Yes.
So that technology is kind of a different topic, though.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's go on with this.
Back to the Stetzer meter. It says clearly right here that less than 25 is good.
Yes.
If you plug this meter in the wall, it should read less than 25.
Yes.
If it says more than 50, it's undesirable. And the reason being is that if you have more than 50 biometric units of radiation, it can cause permanent injury to your red blood cell. You'll cause the red blood cells to flip backwards. They won't be able to deliver oxygen. Your cells will get clumped, and your blood becomes thick.
Not permanent. Certainly it can be reversed some kind of way.
Well, no, it depends upon the level of the cell injury.
Okay.
Because if the cell is injured, you know, red blood cells only last 4 months anyway.
Okay.
They only last 120 days. And if you injure that cell, it's going to be dysfunctional, and it goes through a process of what's called apoptosis.
Okay.
It will die if it's injured. It will be destroyed. And that's why so many people have sustained chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. Because right now we're sitting on this set, and the magnetic flux on the set is over 200.
Oh my goodness.
So we are sitting here being exposed to 300 times the magnitude of this technology.
Wow.
You know, of 300 times the magnitude of radiation that we should be exposed to.
And so if we were in like a typical home, what would we like expect? Not an Amish home, of
Yes.
course, just a typical American home.
It should never be higher than 60. It depends upon what is surfing on the dirt outside your house. Let me share this with you, Sherry. This is contributing, there are many scientists that say that this is contributing to the cause of autism. And that's why there's so much concern now. It doesn't matter what size house, new house, whether you have 200 square feet or 200,000 square feet. If the magnetic flux in your dirt is super high, it can take the levels of your house way over 2,000. My house was 1,500. That 1,500 gave my son a brain injury, took out his brain theta wave, 60% of it. My son, who was a happy-go-lucky young man, who was an American exchange student in Penang, Malaysia, who was made the world touring team in martial arts and was there for 2 years. He came home for summer holiday in the second year, walked in this house and went from being a fun-loving kid who was respectable and regarding to a raving maniac of raging with disrespect and disregard.
How long did it take being in the
3
house?
weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks being in this house.
And it's different for each person's
It's
body.
different
It
for each
depends on what's
person's
going on in
body.
your body.
But I tell people, so many marriages are falling apart. So many kids are becoming bullies. You have a loving husband or loving wife, and they go to sleep one day and they wake up raving with rage. Everything upsets them. They can't get any peace. And I'm telling you, I hear it all the time. I hear about children who were loving, kind, respectful regarding, now being raving and disregarding, disrespectful. I mean, to the level of a lunatic at a manic state.
And you are convinced that this electromagnetic field that has been created by a combination of things, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
Again, I'm not a science person, but I'm going to venture out, stick my neck out there, because correct me if I'm wrong. We have these cell towers. We have these electrical, what do you call them? Okay. But not only that, which we really can't control that. That's out of the average person's ability. But there are some things in our household that contribute as well. Basically anything that's electrical. That's from our refrigerators, our microwaves, our radios, our CD players, our alarm clocks, our VCRs, or DVDs, all of that.
And all of that is in our bedroom. The culprit is in the bedroom because, see, in our bedrooms, we've moved the flat screen TVs in there, the DVD players, our cell phone chargers. I mean, if we just take a snapshot in the American bedroom right now, we go to the bed, to the head of the bed. Okay, so we've got wireless in the house. And people don't realize the radiation of the antennas on the outside of the house, that comes through your roof on the inside of your house. It hits your dirt, and it's coming in from the roof and from the ground up. So that's contributing to the spiking. Now you got a flat screen TV that's 2 feet away from your bed. Most people have the laptop in the bed with them. They have the cell phone charger, a lamp, an alarm clock, maybe a sound motion machine. I mean, we went into the home of a millionaire law couple. They had bought a $3 million house in River Forest in Chicago. The man couldn't sleep. He could sleep 2 hours, and the wife was sickly. They had a child that was in this fabulous bedroom that was in complete, utter disarray. She could not organize herself. She could not organize her bedroom. She couldn't keep herself organized. She could only function and do her homework down in the family room off the kitchen. When we went to the bedroom, we said, we don't know how you're alive. The magnetic flux in the wall was over 2,000. And by the time we added it all up, between the radiation from the TV, from the lamps, from the alarm clock, from the cell phone charger, from the laptop that slept in the bed with them, it was like something phenomenal, like almost 7,000 biometric units of radiation.
Wow.
You said, here's your health problem right here.
Okay, now you've also invented something that can help to counteract that.
Yes.
And what is that?
What I have invented was a film called a bioharmonized film that's being classified.
And I'm going to interrupt you real quick
Yes.
because I need for you to give your educational background that sets up and explains to us, how'd you get the ability to do this?
Okay.
So,
Well, let me just give you a snapshot.
Okay.
After my house gave me a stroke and gave my son a brain injury, I got really fired up. I got fired up because I'm thinking I'm dying because my husband had died, and I'm in this grief.
Right.
And my son is going through all this because he's grieving too.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
And when I went to a medical conference and that doctor asked me about ants,
yes.
and the engineers came and told me my house was highly irradiating, I said, I'm going back to school. I went back to Westinghouse in Pittsburgh to take a class that engineers take on how to measure and evaluate and mitigate environmental radiation.
Environmental radiation.
I was horrified when I learned that you can set your house up to be a taser gun.
Set your house up to be a taser gun?
And after they showed me the capacitor, I mean, if we go and plug this capacitor in at that socket over there,
right,
it will instantly bring the radiation levels down. You know, depending upon the circuit, it would come down anywhere between below 50, okay?
We can't plug it into this piece here?
Yes, but we need to be able to read it. Can you plug it in over there for us? Can we get somebody, one of your crew to plug it in?
Someone will come in just a second and plug it in. Keep talking to us.
Okay. So this capacitor changed my life. When I found out that people are getting sick in their homes from disease, I said, I'm going back to school. With a PhD in nursing, nursing doesn't teach anything about toxins in the environment creating disease, especially not from radiation. I became so fascinated with the contributions of the environment. And then I get all kind of things from Columbia, since I'm an alumni of Columbia University. And in came a report from the Graduate School of Public Health that said 95% of all cancers are caused by our environment. Then the American Nurses Association sued the EPA for not telling us that we had environmental chemicals binding with this radiation, making everybody sick and creating all these diseases. And as a result of that, they had to publish reports. And in those reports, they attached the information to schools. And they found that there were 129,000 schools that were classified as sick buildings.
Wow.
From this chemical and radiation.
And we have all these issues happening with our schools right now. Schools. We're gonna hold for just a second. I think we have our cameraman. He's here to do whatever you need to tell him to do with that. I'm not quite sure. What do we need for him to do?
You just plug this in.
Just plug it into any outlet.
No, it needs to plug into the outlet that's pulling the frequency off of this meter.
So this one right here would work?
Yeah, that one right there would work.
Okay, does he need to flip the red knobby thing? Or
turn it on for me?
Is it on?
Let's see what response we get.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Oh, wow, look at that.
But before you were able to sit down, we took the high radiation level from 210
or something like that
down to 33.
Is it going to go down more?
It will go, with the longer that is on there, it will clean the line. By the end of the week, it probably will be down to 20 or 15.
But 30, 35, even up to 50 are safe levels.
Yes.
Now, if he takes that back out, it will rate again.
Yes.
It won't take very long at all.
No. If you'll just turn it off for us.
Do us a favor and just flip that switch real quick.
This capacitor was what started giving my son back. 244.
260.
Within 3 seconds.
68.
255.
Now, why
the reason why it's changing so much because it's measuring the spiking as it's hitting the ground coming up in your building.
It's measuring the spiking.
It's measuring all of the radio frequencies that are converging outside that's hitting the dirt that this building is in, and the dirt that this building is in is sending that signal in the grounding, electrical grounding wire is carrying a positive charge that is surfing up in this building.
Wow.
Now this is what's so amazing. You're seeing it at the 255 level.
Right.
But if we have a smart meter on this building, or if we have some type of signaling going on, this can spike up to over 2,000.
Wow.
So here you are sleeping, you're wondering why people that are perfectly healthy are dying in their sleep. If you're dying, if you're laying in your bed and your head is within 2 feet of a wall, and you have variation and spiking in your line like this, it can take out the sleep center of your brain, it can take out your heart and your lungs. That's why there's a new condition called familiar fatal insomnia.
Familiar
fatal insomnia. And I really feel that that's what a lot of singers are getting, and especially performers that start in their youth. They have all these microphones and high wire devices around them, and then they're already energized and they're sleeping in these fields. And I really think that's what was going on Michael Jackson's problem.
Really?
Because he lost his ability to sleep, and they had to take those strong propanol medicines and put him to sleep. Yes. People are losing their ability. And 64 million people, according to the Department of Health and Human Services, 64 million people in America are having difficulty sleeping.
64 million.
And
okay, now you created something to counterbalance this.
Yes, exactly.
And you told me you went to study physics and you studied engineering.
Yes, at Westinghouse.
At Westinghouse.
I took my board, I passed my board, and I asked God. I said, God, you have got to give us a plan to interface and deal with this.
Yes.
When I saw how vast the need was, and I saw that nursing and medicine, we don't have any skill sets to walk in a house and see if your home is making you sick.
Right.
I said, God, give me something, give me some technology, and give me a
Yes.
vision to write the plan. So I wrote the nurse curriculum, actually a curriculum for environmental adaptation that directs the use of this technology. Now, if you'll turn that back on for us, I wanted to show you something. Sherry, if you'll be my guinea pig.
Sure.
But you got the flat battery on, don't you?
I can take it off real quick.
Okay, take your flat battery off.
Okay. Yeah,
Sherry
explain to
doesn't-
them why it's in my boot
Okay.
while I do this.
Sherry has one of the flat batteries that I have developed. Flat battery
There we go.
is a technology that's used to kind of to ground you, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
You put it on your body, it gives you energy. You know, a lot of people wear it. I wear it to ground me.
Okay.
But it gives you energy so that, and we're going to demonstrate the flat battery right
Okay.
now. Okay, we've got this down to 34, but I want to show you what electricity does when you touch it. So we're going to do a new patented test. It's
Okay.
developed by a doctor out of New York called Dr. Yoshira Omira. It's called the bidigital O-ring test. You simply put your fourth finger and your thumb together. This is a test of nerve function, okay?
Okay.
Your nerve's ability to uptake oxygen and minerals, your brain's ability to direct your nerves to uptake oxygen and minerals. So here we
Okay.
go. Let me have this hand.
This hand.
Okay, we're going to put these together.
Put them together.
And for the cameraman, you got us? Here we go. I need you to give me all your strength and not let me pull your fingers apart.
Okay.
1, 2,
No,
3.
you're not pulling them apart.
All your strength. Okay. So she has excellent ability. Her brain is directing the upload of oxygen.
Okay.
Now we're going to take this meter and we're going to have you hold it.
Yes.
This electrical device sending a signal in your hand. Now that's a meter. And it's got its own encasing.
Yes.
And so you would not think this little meter would do anything to you. But watch what happens. Fingers together.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. That meter causes oxygen to disassociate in your body. In other words, your red blood cell was running forward to deliver the oxygen. As soon as you touch that meter,
do it again. I'm gonna
it
see it
flipped you
again.
back.
Can you
Okay,
do
here
it
we
again?
go.
I'm holding
1,
tight.
2, 3. And you cannot hold your fingers because that little electrical current, even though we lowered it to 33,
Right. It says 33.
it's
34.
still too powerful. The magnetic flux in this electrical system is opposite to your body.
Now-
and it's stronger than your body. So when you touch it or anything electrical, it's going to throw and disassociate oxygen in your body.
Now, I want you to speak to the naysayers because some of the people are probably watching this and they are like not believing this. They're saying, oh, she didn't hold it tight that time or she pulled harder the second time. So speak to that, the kind of non-believers
To the
here.
naysayers, if you have $20,000 to invest, you can go get a machine that doctors use called a myovision. It will measure how much static radiation this is putting in your body. And so it will show your body stressing out on the inside. Matter of fact, nobody calculated. We actually absorb and store this kind of radiation. And the only person that's interested in that are the oil companies. We are storing so much radiation that we're blowing up gas pumps. And that has started the new safety campaign of the warning signs that's on the gas pump. It says, warning, don't get back in your car while you're refueling. Doing so can increase static electromagnetic radiation in your body, and you can come back and ignite this pump and cause death or injury to yourself.
Wow.
The oil companies are the only ones actively campaigning for public safety. So while you are touching that machine, you are absorbing radiation from it that's causing oxygen not to uptake in your body. That's why people go to bed at night sleeping in these high fields and wake up more fatigued than they were.
Are there incidents where there have been problems at gas stations?
Absolutely. If you go on YouTube and put in ignition at gas stations, or woman blows up gas station, or man blows up gas station, these videos have caught these people on fire. The films are on YouTube, and there are national campaigns that Marathon gas station is one of the ones leading the safety campaigns for consumers, yes.
Okay, so let's talk about what you've invented for the
Exactly.
individual to neutralize this magnetic field.
Here we go. Your flat battery. No, keep holding on
hold
to
this.
your
Okay,
meter.
I've been trying
Let's
to hold
your,
it.
let's get your flat battery.
Back in.
Okay, no, we're going to just sit
hold
that
it.
on your lap.
Just sit it on my lap.
Now, she's got this flat battery on her lap, and put your fingers together.
Put my fingers together.
And rotate your wrist to the ceiling.
To the ceiling.
All your strength, 1, 2, 3, go. And there's no disassociating you. Because that flat battery causes your body, your red blood cells to sustain forward spin. It gives that backup generator energy. And Sherry, I'm the first woman that zillions of doctors have ever seen that I got a complete 40% radiation burn to the breast, black breast syndrome. They wanted to excise my breast. I went to Europe and I learned I had to build a backup battery for my breast tissue. And because I'm so hypersensitive to touch any electronic burns my fingertips, I had to make it so that I could use it on the electrical device. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the first nanotechnology in the world, to my knowledge. You can either use it on the body or use it on an electrical device. So let's put it on the electrical.
Let me hold it up again.
Let's put it on the electrical device. So they've been able to see it now on your body. Now let's take the same flat battery and put it on this meter.
The
same one off your lap. Now just hold it to the meter. Just hold it on the meter. Okay, here we go. Now she's not even touching it. Turn around to people and say, you're just holding it on there with the plastic. Okay?
Yes.
She's not touching it, but watch what happens. 1, 2, 3, all your fingers together. Because it not only harmonizes your body, it'll harmonize that machine.
Okay.
So when you touch it, it doesn't knock oxygen out in your body.
Okay, and I want to do it without this again.
Okay, now put it together, fingers together, 1, 2, 3, and you disassociate. Now, this is my tube that goes on your electrical system.
I want to put it on you and try to strengthen.
Okay,
see if I can pull you loose.
Now I got flat batteries all on me.
Oh, so
I got my.
Okay.
I was showing Sherry earlier. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I use it for weight loss. I've lost 61 pounds with a
See,
flat
now
battery.
you're talking. She's talking.
Okay.
Now. Did you women hear that?
And I have another lady that loses it
61?
she's lost 120 pounds.
How long did it take for you to lose 61?
I've lost 61 pounds. It will be exactly a year, February 18th.
Okay, so that's about 5 pounds.
5 pounds a month. Because people have sustained swelling when you work with electronics all the time. It makes you swell at the cell level, so you don't have metabolism. And so if you put it, I wear it on the back of my left shoulder in my detox meridian so that I help the cells not to hold on to fluid, and I keep cells in forward spin.
I didn't know we had a detox meridian.
We do have.
You all know that now.
Back of your left shoulder.
Back of the left shoulder.
And so that's why I wear it.
Wow, so you invented this.
I invented flat battery.
How long ago did you invent this, and how do they get a hold of one?
If you go to my website, michihealth.org, that's
Michi, M-I?
M-I-C-H-I, the word health.org, or you can go to flatbatteries.net. We'll have that site up soon. They're working on it now.
Okay.
You can order flat batteries. Now, I invented this flat battery. I'm also the gold medalist for the United States.
Congratulations.
I'm the first registered nurse to win a gold medal on an engineering platform for
awesome.
flat batteries, because there's so many different flat batteries. I won the gold medal.
What makes yours different then?
What makes mine different is that it's a nanotechnology. It's super flat, super thin. You can use it on the body or take it off and use it on electronic. You can use it on so many different electrical devices. And are you ready for this? You can even energize water with it. Now watch this, Sherry. We'll take this bottle of water and we'll set this water on your lap. And let me have your bottle of water.
You want my bottle? You want me to keep holding that?
No.
Shoot. I'm so sorry. I didn't know the top was off. My bad.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
We got the top?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Got your boot there a little bit.
Oh, don't worry about me.
All righty. We're good.
Okay. Well, we're going to need a top. So what we're going to do is do this.
I thought I had a top, but I guess not. Okay.
Okay, let's put the top on here because we need to show.
The top.
I'm energizing this bottle of water over here on the flat battery.
Okay.
And so what I need you to do is take that meter.
Take the meter.
And put this meter right underneath your arm.
Put the meter under my arm.
Right, just like that. Now, there's no frequency in this water. This is just water. In fact, because the way our houses are built, all electricity is now required to be grounded to your water pipes inside of your house.
Can we show that there's no frequency first?
Yes, I'm getting ready to show you.
Okay.
I'm going to show everybody there's no frequency in this water.
Okay.
And that's contributing to so many people having rheumatoid arthritis. So if you have arthritis, you need to get your electrical system grounded. You need to put some type of capacitor on it that grounds it, because it can make you have arthritis. Now we're going to test this water to show you it has no frequency. Hold this water to your chest. Just hold it just like this.
It's cold.
I'm sorry. And now we're going to put your fingers together.
Put my fingers together.
Okay, and we're going to see. She's got the meter under her arm. She's got the water to her body. And 1, 2, 3. There's no strength in that water to give you anything, to do anything for you.
Right.
And this is why the University of Penn State University is saying water has been destructured, because when you scan this barcode, they also flip molecules backward in this water, so that the electrical charge is supposed to give you, to oxygenate you and detox you, it no longer has the strength or the power to do that.
So is it better to just drink our tap water and maybe filter it ourselves?
Well, as truth be told, this is tap water that's filtered.
Okay. I've heard that a few times.
Well, that's the truth. That's the U.S. law. If you process and manufacture water in the United States, it has to come out of tap systems.
But at least it hasn't been scanned.
Yes, all water is scanned.
If we do it at home?
Exactly.
If we take it out of our tap, filter it, it hasn't been scanned.
Yes, but it has been electrified, because the electrical system in your home is anchored to your water. But this is water that we just energized off of this 2-inch flat battery.
Okay.
We've been energizing this for the last few seconds.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. We need this lid because I don't want you to get wet.
Sure.
So we're going to take this lid off.
Alrighty.
And we're going to put this energized water to your body.
Little science
now we're
class
live,
here.
ladies and gentlemen, so we haven't had time. So hold that to your back where you had the other bottle of water. Fingers together. 1, 2, 3. Fingers together. Come on, 1, 2, 3. Because flat battery is so amazing, water responds to it. It's full of natural frequencies that can energize water. It's full of natural frequencies that not only just energize you, it energizes your water, it energizes your food. We have one of Wolfgang Puck's chefs, Lauren Vanderpool. She works cruise ships. She is blown away with flat batteries. She's using them to energize the food of celebrities that she serves. She's getting ready to be our international spokesperson. Awesome. We have a whole new line of flat battery lemons that are charge plates that you set your food on, set your water up, and charge up your food. And she is totally amazed at the strength, because, I mean, she works for some major athletes and some major entertainers, and the vitality and the endurance that they're getting by just restructuring and energizing food.
Wow.
Isn't that something? This bottle of water picked up in seconds, just from the flat battery. In seconds, it picked it up.
Wow.
And became as powerful as a flat battery. And it's so amazing. I tell people, if you energize water and you're not a health conscious person, and you know you're sick and sluggish and you got gas and you're bloated, you should take 2 ounces of energized water about every 2 hours and open up yourself slowly, because some people drink energized water and they get a revelation of emptying out. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I tell people, be gentle with your body.
Wow.
Yes.
Have you written anything? Do you have any books?
I haven't. I have a book coming out soon. It's called 101 Uses of the Flat Battery.
Okay.
I have my legacy coming out called Get Your Head Off the Wall.
Get your head off the wall.
Head off the wall.
Get your head off the wall.
I tell America, if everybody would develop a discipline of sleeping at the foot of the bed with their brains 6 feet away from a wall, you would be amazed at how much you would sustain your health, sustain your life, because there's too much spiking in the lines in the wall. Your wall, even I tell people, even if you have the instruments that we use. Okay, now let me show you one more thing.
Okay.
We have energized water. Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Take that back.
And we're going to do one more thing. Here's our tube. We have a flat battery device in this fabrication that insulates a whole electrical line that can reduce your electric bill 10 to 30, even some people are getting even 60%. If we take this tube and just put it on this meter, on this wall right here, oops,
came off. I got it
right there. Okay, we're going to try to tube it on there and see if we can
just hold it.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Fingers together.
Fingers together.
1, 2, 3, all your strength, go. Push.
Wait a minute. Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. And you got that tube on the line, and it's harmonizing the whole line. In fact, If we would touch anything on this circuit,
Right.
everything on the circuit is harmonized.
Wow.
This tube is amazing, and
Okay, I want to try it.
Okay.
I want to try it. You pull, and I take this off in the middle of the pool.
Okay.
And see if I'm affected.
Go
Okay.
ahead. If you're holding it in your hand, though,
gonna be
you've
hard.
got to take it.
And set it down.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
What you've got to do, let's just try it. You got to take it off
Okay.
and set it down. 1, 2, 3, go.
Uh-oh.
Come on. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay.
I can't get it out fast enough.
Okay.
You know what? Here's what I would say to the naysayers. It's kind of like saying electricity will create light in a room. And for I'm sure there were naysayers when electricity was being created that said, ain't gonna be no light created. What are they
Girl,
doing?
let me take this meter off of you without your flat battery on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do me that favor. Let me get my little flat battery back
Here
and
you
take
go.
care of myself.
Okay.
I'm going to put it back in my boot, too. But, you know, there were naysayers, I'm sure, that said electricity would not work. By the way, how long does these last?
In an electrical device, that particular flat battery is engineered to last a year. This 2-inch flat battery actually goes inside your fuse box. It's a filtration system that basically interfaces with the tube. The tube goes inside of your panel on your hot wires and on your neutral wire. This filtration goes on your fuse box door. You change it once a year. It makes the entire electrical system bioharmonized. You can touch any wall, refrigerator, stove, everything in your house becomes bioharmonized. So when you touch it, it's causing oxygen to sustain, to associate in the body.
So if you had this on your electrical box, you had one of the flat batteries in your left foot that you wore, or maybe even on your left shoulder in one of those places. Then when you would use the other how do you say it? Stetsometer, it would register very low as opposed to those higher levels.
These do absolutely nothing to lower radiation, lower the magnetic flux. What this does is take that magnetic flux and take it from a left spin to a right spin.
For you science people.
For you science people. This impacts the atom. That's why it's called a nanotechnology. This deals with molecular spin of the atom. And you're looking at me lifting your eyebrow.
No,
I will tell anybody.
I believe you. It's
I
just
have
that
an
I'm
anointing.
intrigued about the
Yes.
atom bit.
Yes. And for the naysayers, INPEX is the oldest, most prestigious, largest engineering competition in North America, sponsored by big Fortune 500 companies like Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, Black & Decker, those types of people. You know, they were blown totally away.
You did a demonstration
Did
for
a
them?
demonstration for the world. It's a 4-day competition. It's grueling competition. It took me 2 years to prepare for it because I tried to get Underwriters Laboratory to classify it. They said this is just energy, is no classification for it. It took a year to tell me we don't classify this. The FDA said it doesn't need to be regulated. It's just energy. So I took it to INPEX. 78 scientists and engineers from the global community validated this technology. We had to demonstrate it for the Japanese delegation. As I told you, we have 42 different applications. We have an application that harmonized 4,000 square feet. I got a system I can put in the middle of this room and harmonize everything in this building and 500 square feet around the building.
So it's not a 2-inch piece. It's a much bigger piece.
It's a bigger piece, about 12 inches by 12 inches. In fact, you know, we have technology. We have over 200 homes throughout the United States, from Los Angeles to New York, with my technology in it.
I was going to ask
We have
you
technology at Trump Tower. I build for residents at Trump Tower. I custom build harmonics from your home. I bring a team of engineers, technicians into your home who are retired military people. I work with Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force. I'm getting these veterans back to work. When we come in, we measure the magnetic flux. I custom build harmonics to anchor your home down.
You custom build them.
I custom build these things that anchor your home down, and we custom build it for your health and for your comfort level. We customize this, and I teach people how to do it now because there's so many people wanting it to be done. And what I'm excited about is that we're calling these energized homes, energy smart homes, because so many people are getting so many health benefits. Some of the testimonies people have shared with me have been tremendous. Our youngest scientist in resident with me, because we're in resident in the College of Engineering at Central State University. We also have a resident program at St. Louis Community College in St. Louis. Our youngest scientist is 8 years old. Her godmother lives in Chicago, and she heard about what I did at the Trump Tower for the family there. She asked me to go to Cincinnati to meet this young lady who had never spoken a word in her life and had seizures, multiple seizures every day.
Wow.
And I was so impressed with this family, and I said, you know what? I want this little girl to be a scientist with me. And they looked at me like, what are you talking about? You know, she can't speak, you know, and she's obviously got some challenges. I said, but she has a gift. She's able to perceive at a level that I need instruments to perceive. And I gave her technology because she could communicate. She could feel frequency and she could communicate. This little girl is a scientist. She takes my technologies and she stops her seizures with them. She takes this technology. She started speaking. She's now speaking.
Seizures with them?
She stopped seizures with the technology. And I told her and her mom, I need you to write the protocol for how she's stopping seizures. She's going 3 days without a seizure. This little baby that's had seizures, you know, half of her life, every day of her life, who never spoke a word until 24 hours after she wore a flat battery.
Is she using the flat battery or the 2-inch one? Or
she has her house done, and she wears a 1-inch flat battery.
And she wears a 1-inch. I'm wearing a 1-inch flat battery right now. I just started wearing it today, and I'm going to keep wearing it and see. How will I know that it's improving things for me?
You're going to feel better. You're going to start having sustained energy, mental clarity.
Wow.
Just, you know, your skin, people's countenance, you just look like you're taking up more oxygen. But let me tell you the story of this little girl.
Please do.
This little girl is singing. Her muscle tone is so dynamic that her pediatric neurologist from the Cleveland Clinic drove from Cleveland to meet me in Cincinnati to ask me to see the flat battery, to understand the story about the flat battery, because it's not a medical device. We only make one claim, and that is energy. But my philosophy is if you give the body energy and it can get enough oxygen and everybody can function, your body will naturally become a dynamic body, you know. And this little girl's pediatrician was so dumbfounded that all the medicines he put together could not achieve what this little girl was doing with the flat battery. And I took her with me. I was invited by the Cleveland Clinic to do research with the flat battery for 2 years. I do research with screening with the flat battery in people that have hypersensitivity to cell phones to see if the flat battery will work to stop that symptomology. And it does.
Wow.
Out of screening 217 people our first year, 215 people had hypersensitivity, and it was highly effective for all 215 of them.
Almost immediately?
Immediately, on contact. You see, it works on contact. And so I took this little girl to Cleveland Clinic with me because you are there with 4,000 people. They're drooling you on this technology.
Yes.
And some rocket scientists from NASA came up and said, we don't believe in the technology. We don't believe in the science of it. This has got to be hocus pocus, yada, yada. I said, you don't have to believe in me. You don't even have to believe in this product. But what I am asking you to do is believe in my scientists here. I said, come on. And I called the little girl's name. I said, come on and tell them about your miracle. And she walks around there. She says, I use flat battery to stop my seizure. I don't have to have seizures because of the flat batteries. And everybody was in tears that she was able to speak a sentence.
And she had been at this same clinic unable to talk.
Exactly, since birth.
Since birth.
She's
8 years old.
She's 8 years old. And her doctor drove down to meet me, and now we're building a team to raise $1 million to research this flat battery for stopping seizures with children.
Well, I would love to help you raise that $1 million.
Bless God, I receive it.
Yes,
I receive it.
I hope this show. And what can we do? How's your program? You have to tell us more of how it's set up. I know you have a website.
Yes, we have a website, meetyourhealth.org. This is what we're doing. We're aligning with partners right now.
Okay.
If you've been watching the media, you know ABC just launched a special January the 19th talking about toxic indoors. It's excellent. I recommend everybody get it. It talks about toxic chemicals inside and how you must know what chemicals are in your house if you have a newborn.
Wow.
because if you're pregnant, because these chemicals are making children transgender. And I have to celebrate Walmart, because Walmart, when they heard that there were BPA chemicals in plastics that were contributing to children becoming transgender and altering their sexual hormones and sexual orientation, Walmart refused to carry any more plastics. Wow. And if you see Walmart, they are only carrying in plastic containers that say BPA free. I celebrate Walmart for all the baby bottles now are BPA free. I got to give them that kudos.
Kudos to Walmart.
Kudos to Walmart. And so what are we doing? We have a program called Eco 180. We're custom building that program right now, so you'll be able to click on our website very soon before the end of the next few days, and you will be able to enroll for free, register for free. We're going to give you a guide of how to test your water. Okay. We have to test our water for radiation. You have to know if radon is in your water. Matter of fact, January is the National Radon Testing Month, and Oprah Winfrey's magazine usually carries the advertisement for that, because the Office of the Surgeon General wants every home, the airspace tested for radon, and your water tested for radon. Right. Do you know what radon safe levels are? Your radon in your house should be below 4.0 according to the Food and Drug Administration. But the World Health Organization is saying now, because we have so much magnetic flux, the measurement should be below 2.7 picocuries per liter of gas, radon gas. So
it's almost half of what
FDA is saying, yes. And so you need to know what your water is, what your radon levels are in gas and water. You need to know what chemicals are in your house, what chemicals you are at risk for. And the EPA has made that easy, because when the American Nurses Association sued the EPA, they had to launch a website through USA Today called Toxic Air in America's Schools. If you search USA Today, or you can go to a blog called Safe Green Schools.
Safe Green Schools.
Safe Green Schools.blogspot.com. It's one of the Google blogs.
Okay.
You can click directly to that link. You put your school in, your city, and your state, and it will tell you exactly what the chemical conversion in your area is. So we direct people to test their gas and water, test the chemicals in the house. We direct them how to get a meter, test for magnetic flux, how to get these capacitors and plug in. Now, my tubes, unfortunately, can only be brought by electricians.
The tube meaning this piece here?
Yes, we have a training program that we hope to be able to launch here in Springfield for electricians to learn how to install these tubes.
Okay.
And people can get their house anchored down and save some money on their electric bills. But these flat batteries can be ordered off the website. The 2x2 will certainly be available here shortly, within the next month, off the website. We are letting you know products that you can get to sanitize your air. We have contacted NASA. NASA is commercializing some of the technologies that we use to retrofit spaceships. We want to be the first to bring you that technology. I've been advocating for 5 years to get those air sanitizers transitioned to the residential use, and we are there. So we'll be letting you know how you can get air sanitizers to sanitize those chemicals out of your air, how you can get capacitors to anchor down your electromagnetic flux, how you can get radon mitigators, which have to be installed by certified radon technicians that are certified by the state of Illinois. Yes. So we're working for you. Eco 180.
Eco 180.
Yes.
Well, you know what? A lot of this sounds like toxic cleansing in the home or in the commercial business places as well, right?
Yes.
So I don't think we think very much about what's going on in our environment. We can't see it, taste it. It can only be tested with special equipment. To some extent, and I'm kind of, speaking to the naysayers a little bit, it's kind of like electricity. There was just some of the things about electricity we just can't see and figure out with the natural eye or the natural sight. Yes, we do get that we can see lights, but we don't always make the connection between the electrical plant and how we have light here, or we flip the switch and we have light and we think nothing else about it. But there's a whole lot more going on. And then when you add into the things that are happening with our electric, our gas, our water, our air, there are a lot of toxins going on. And it makes sense because, my goodness, we have all kind of toxins dispelled into the air from our vehicles, from the oils spills into our water system. And we know that all of our waterways are connected one way or another to the other one. We have our animals, and we see our water species all being affected. There's all kind of things that are going on. And it makes sense that we be aware of what's in our environment. Do you have anything else that you want to share with us about this?
Yes, I just want to say that I've been called the Aaron Brockovich of the Midwest.
Yes, I've heard that.
And I've been called a kind of a Moses.
A Moses?
An Ezekiel 33 prophetess.
Okay.
And I would say that God does not want people sick.
Okay.
And the time is now. If we sit back and say, this is too wild and it's too far, it's too scientific, and we do nothing. This is what's so diabolical. Sustained exposure to chemicals and radiation injures the DNA in the sperm of men.
Wow.
So that you might have a child, and that child loses their capacity to fight cancer. But when that child has a child, that child has no capacity to fight cancer.
Wow.
And that's why right here in Illinois, I got a phone call from someone in suburban Chicago that told me, Dr. Alale, sit down. We've got our first case of a baby 6 weeks old with leukemia. Leukemia has been known in medicine for decades to be a radiation-induced disease. That's why most physicians who are radiologists will die from leukemia.
Wow.
And so I cannot afford, I have a grandbaby who's 3 years old.
Yes.
Who struggles because where my son lives is in a high chemical manufacturing area. She's always throwing her into respiratory distress. She's the first baby in America. I custom built a flat battery specific to her DNA because she was in the hospital every single week. Every single month she was in the hospital. And I studied her DNA and built something that would help stabilize her tissue.
And so now, how long she's been using this
She's been using it. She's had probably 2 events to the emergency room, but not sustained hospitalizations for weeks at a time.
And the other ones were sustained hospitalization.
Sustained hospitalization for weeks at a time.
And this has been like for months, or
Yes.
how long now?
This is 3 years now.
3 years.
3 years now. And the 2 events that she had to go to the emergency room was because she went to the zoo. She got exposed to chemicals in an environment that was highly
considered per se when you created it.
But what I'm saying is that she's still at risk for developing autism. She's still at risk for developing Asperger's syndrome because of high magnetic flux. And I have a very dear friend that brought a $1.4 million house on the waterfront in Washington, D.C. When she went to move in, I called her to say, how's the move? She said, ants are everywhere inside and bees are dead on every deck, 4 decks on the outside.
Oh, my goodness.
I said, don't even move in. Get an engineer to measure magnetic flux in that house.
Wow.
Her husband, who is a renowned musician.
Yes.
I mean, one of the top musicians in the region.
Okay.
Said to her, she's a lunatic, and he was a
moved
major
in anyway.
naysayer. They moved in anyway. Within 3 weeks, their son was in the hospital for a year.
Oh, my goodness.
And the son just snapped, took a pipe, and tried to beat the child next door.
Are some people more susceptible
Yes,
than
they
others?
are.
And how do you
Yes,
know
they
if
are.
you're more susceptible
You can
than
test.
someone else?
That is an excellent question. Everybody listening to this television broadcast,
Yes.
I want you to do one thing. I want you to go to the wall behind your bed. I want you to take either your left hand or right hand, whichever is most convenient, it doesn't matter. I want you, if you're a naysayer, I want you to do this test at home. I want you to put your hand on the wall, hold your thumb and your ring finger together. I want you to stand, first of all, I want you to stand 7 feet or 8 feet away from the wall and make sure you can hold strong. Then I want you to go and put your hand directly on that wall. If your hands pop open, I want you to move your hand 2 feet away from the wall. If your fingers pop open again, I want you to remove yourself from sleeping within 5 feet of that wall. Take your head. If you can't move your bed, take your head and turn around and sleep at the foot of the bed.
Now you said some of these fields are like going across the entire room.
And if they're going across the entire room, if you come back 2 feet, another 2 feet, another 2 feet, and you find yourself wall to wall, find another bedroom to sleep in.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I've had to move people out of their bedrooms because they may have a satellite dish on top of the roof, on top of where their bed area is, and that can pick up stray voltage and slam it in your house, especially if it's not properly installed. I mean, we have learned so much from people's houses. We're not here to scare you. This is not about fear, ladies and gentlemen. This is about information.
Right.
What happened to me and my son's brain was turned off for 4 years.
Wow.
It took me 4 long, suffering years, agonizing in my soul to watch my award-winning champion son who made the world touring team, who came home to this house for 3 weeks and lost 60% of his brain theta wave and his ability to control his emotions. He had a bright future, a scholarship to the Dubai International Culinary School. He was a private personal escort for a member of the royal family who went to his school in Malaysia. He had a 6-bedroom house on their compound. He had an amazing life ahead of him, and all of that went out like a vapor smoke.
Wow.
4 years. He had to drop out high school his last year because he could not take anything in. But I begged God, and I was blessed to speak at the FDA conference in Silver Spring, Maryland, where I met 2 engineers from MIT and Harvard. And when we got to dialoguing about molecular formularies of energy, and I told them about a formulary and asked them about a particular conversion of a formulary, and they said, well, that's the wrong formulary. No wonder you're not getting results. You got the wrong equation. And when they gave me the right equation, I went back to my lab, and bam, I had the plate turned on this harmonized total area spaces. And I told my son, I need you to live in this frequency. And he has his own apartment. I said, just live in this frequency. I need you in this frequency 8 hours a day. And bless God, my son submitted to my wisdom, and his brain began to integrate. And he called me up excited 72 hours later. He said, Mom, he said, you know, things are coming back to me. You know, I feel like maybe I can go to high school and finish high school. And the principal had hid him because at 21 years old, they're supposed to transition you out of high school.
Okay.
He was 22 years old, and the principal said, listen, I'm leaving in the summer. Let's just keep trying to see if we can get him through here and get him through here. And I called the principal up and said, let's go. He's ready to go. He took them online classes and zizzed through and finished projects. And I mean, it was just like he woke up from a coma.
Oh, my goodness.
And June 21st, 2010, my son got his high school diploma. And that's why I'm excited to raise this money for children with brain injury and seizures, because my son is learning. Matter of fact, his ability to do math through his mind is just increased. He's become the poker champion of the community. And I mean, I said, what? I mean, I'm just like totally ecstatic. But he clocked over 40,000 hours of living in a controlled environment to help me develop this technology.
Now, you made this, it wasn't just a 2-inch, it wasn't just the, what am I wearing, a 1-inch?
1 inch.
I'm wearing a 1-inch. You made one particularly for his environment.
For his, yes.
I'm just curious, how big was that for the environment he was living in?
12 inches by 12 inches
12 by 12.
for about a 1,000 square foot apartment.
And what did that cost? I mean,
the production manufacturing,
right.
that cost about $395 for me.
That's just production?
That's for it finished. That's the finished product.
Is it available like retail? People could buy that?
Not yet.
Not yet?
We custom build them because we custom build them specific to what's going on in the environment, how much energy you need in the environment. And so we have some beta projects going on with the plate. In Washington, D.C., I've got some medical doctors working with it there. I've got a lot of people in Chicago, probably over 50 families in Chicago, because I have an engineering firm up there that specs out and takes the measurement. I've been working with them for 2 years.
Do you have a rollout date?
For that, not yet. I want to get a number of, I will say probably maybe in a year.
Okay, that's not bad. Now, you've sold thousands. I keep looking for one of these
Yes.
to roll up. You've sold thousands of these flat batteries.
Hope to hit 16,000 here before April.
Well, you hear that?
16,000.
16,000
We have,
before
it's
April.
amazing things. As I said, you energize the body, it will do. I get testimonies all the time. People writing me saying, Dr. Alale, I had severe arthritis in my hips. I couldn't move this way or that way. Put a flat battery in my left foot, I'm walking without pain. We have our first dog grooming facility. And I told the lady, I said, when we come in here, I said, it's going to be energized and you're going to see dogs are very sensitive to flat battery frequencies. She says, you know what? You didn't lie. She says, I've had dogs come to the door and they were like, they wouldn't come in here because they didn't sense that they were in the same place. But once we let them know this was still the same place and they came in here, they didn't want to leave.
Wow.
And she
Just
said,
instinct.
I told her, I said, it will be different when you bathe dogs in here now because you're going to be bathing them with energized water, and that's going to help their nerve-muscle communication. So a dog limped in there, a big lap limped in there, and the owners came to get him, and he walked out without a limp. They're like, we've had him to the vet and everywhere. Nobody could fix the limp. What'd you guys do? They said, we're a bioharmonized environment. Everything in here energizes the animals and the staff. They had the secretary had severe fibromyalgia, pain every day. She's been pain-free since 4 hours after the technology was installed. And the owner of that lab brought 6 flat batteries just like that. She said, honey, if this did this for the dog.
Made a believer out of her.
Let me do this. So, the opportunity is now. We're even developing business models, which I hope to be able to be tutored by your husband. He is so highly respected in St. Louis.
He's always very much open
Yes.
to supporting and whatever he can do to help. So I'm sure you have that.
Well, he has a major fan club. I mean, he was highly respected and highly regarded and recommended to me by the corporate academic community in St. Louis. And, and I take that very seriously. That's why when he made an effort to show up to an invitation that they extended to him to screen me, I was just honored that he would invite me to meet you and to be a part of the family of Springfield and making life better and great for people, because we don't have to be sick by our houses.
Well, we're honored, just so there's no mistake about it. We're honored to have you. We have learned so much from you. Look forward to having you again. I don't know
Amen.
if you're gonna, you'll be back in the area again. Do you have future visits coming up? But if you'll come back and join us again and let us know what the new technology is going on. And again, stay in contact any way that we can support you. I think this is an awesome type of technology. It is above my head, I confess, and I appreciate you enduring my ignorance in terms of questioning
not at all.
and not taking it the wrong way. But I have so very much enjoyed being with you today. So may I say thank you at this point, unless there's something else you want to share with us.
Oh, well, you know what? I could sit here and talk about this subject matter. I just want to thank you and your family for the passion you have for this community.
You're so welcome.
I mean, I read your newspaper and I've listened to your husband's vision and certainly his love for you and how you support him so tremendously.
Thank you.
And I want you to know that is such an inspiration for me. It's strength that I stand on. You've encouraged me so much with your faith in me, because it's no joke being out here, birthing something that is out of the box.
Yes.
But I want to just say to the listening audience, I invite you to get involved. Congress has actually legislated a foundation called the National Environmental Education Foundation. They are putting a challenge to the educational community and to the medical community to move forward and engage this. They now have a whole curriculum demonstration. Every school in the nation is invited to participate in the month of April for teaching children about the environment and how we can make the environment safer. It's a wonderful platform for every school to engage and families to support their children in engaging. At the medical level, they're encouraging medicine and nursing to advance our curriculums for skill sets so that people can be tested. I mean, if we had more time, I could take you off this set, use instrumentation. I could tell you exactly how much radiation is absorbed. And it would take us about 20 minutes. We could rebalance you so that you respond even better to the flat battery. And it's just
Wow.
tremendous. These skill sets we have now developed patented curriculums for so that we can advance nursing. The future is that when a nurse comes to take care of you in your home,
Yes.
she's going to be coming with a stetometer.
Wow.
She's going to be measuring
Like
that
the blood pressure.
Like the blood pressure.
She'll have that right with her.
She's going to be measuring you for radiation absorption.
Wow.
So that we take nursing and healthcare to the ultimate level of taking care of you and your house and making sure your house is not contributing to the problem.
Wow.
I think that we can close on that note.
Well, we can. And I can't tell you what a sincere honor it has been. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Dr. Alale.
Thank you.
All righty. And we just want to thank you for joining us as well. We hope that you've enjoyed the program. You've learned a lot. I hope you took notes. If you didn't, you know how to contact us. So thank you so much. Until next time, we'll see you then.